just a loadout video. Haven't done loadout videos for quite some time, and I can already hear the trolls and the haters already. You know, you suck. You're not good at this game. You don't have the highest combat rating. You don't have the best amount of skill points while you're making videos. You should make videos. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Well, this is just going to be for those of us who enjoy the game. So if you're some hardcore player who's looking for like the best loadout ever in the history of the world, then you might as well just click off the video now. This is going to be for the person who wants to have fun, wants to enjoy the game, maybe wants to find something that is a little bit better than what they're using now. No, but I am by no means an elite player. I don't have the highest amount of skill points ever, but this is what works for me. Yes, we will be focusing on might-based loadout. Regarding Earth DPSing, which the loadout itself can be quite monotonous, but this is what I use, and it seemingly works pretty well against most players. Now, you're against the most elite players, you know, people who have more skill points than you. You might get your butt kicked, but overall, this is going to work out pretty well. So, like I said, I don't want to kind of just make this a loadout video. I just kind of want to show you overall what I do, what I use. So, first things first here with your artifacts. You obviously want to get those that are focused on might and power. So, as of right now here, you see I have the Tetrahedron of Urgun. I have the Scrap of the Soul Cloak, which is mostly just kind of like a health and power one. And this one is more so for your pet. So I kind of wanted to give my pet a buff because I do like, as most of you know, love using the pet powers. So these are pretty much up to you on the artifacts wise. Like I said, I would probably try to focus on ones that are might, power based, health based, and a lot of times too you'll notice that they will say what they're best for. So if you go down and look, they'll say like, you know, best recommended for controller, best recommended for damage superpowers, best recommended for like weapons or whatever the case is. But I have some other ones here that you can look at, and like that, for example, recommended for a controller, recommended for a tank, recommended for this. So like I said, you kind of want to focus on ones that are, you know, health and power related, might related, as much as you possibly can. Like I said, those are kind of sort of interchangeable. The next one that you really want to go after here, and that I should mention, is you want to have your meta genes here, your origin augments. God, stupid mic. I hate this thing. But you want to focus on the ones that give you might and power. Obviously, now as if you go down here, you'll have ones for each role. Obviously, if you want to focus on precision, you would want to use the precision ones. If you want to, let's say you'd be a tank, more so, you want to do the dominating ones. But for this case, for Earth DPS, in a might sense, you want to definitely do the mighty metagenes. And then you'll also have your adaptive augment here, which these can be interchangeable. Now, I've noticed that, as most of you also know too, you will have different ones for each new episode that comes out. So right now I'm kind of rolling with one cybernetic core from the Teen Titans episode, just because I have it up to 6 here. And then I'm using one of the ones from Atlantis, the previous episode. I haven't gotten to the point where I've gotten one from the new episode yet, but we will get there. Like I said, you can hear the trolls already. Well, you don't even have the newest stuff. You don't even do the deal. You suck at this game, bro. Why are you even making a video? Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, I play this game for fun. I don't like spending 6 hours a day playing the damn game, so just roll with it, okay? So there's what you got for that. Now, as far as your skill points and what you want to do for your skill points themselves, in this case, if you're focusing just on might, you want to go for the superpowered, and then you want to put all, you know, fill out your critical attack chance, your critical attack damage. Obviously, these two will give you a better chance of hitting crits, and the crits are like when you're doing the damage, you'll see those big numbers that say crit, and you have a better chance of hitting like some huge numbers. And then what you want to do, of course, is any points that you have left over from your critical attack chance and your critical attack damage, you want to make sure that you're putting them in might and power. Now, just focusing on Earth DPS and might, since you just want to do might and power. Now, if you're trying to be a tank too, obviously you would want to go over and put some points into dominance, maybe do some weapon points, maybe be a hybrid, whatever the case is. But for this particular instance, we're just doing might and power. And the weapons, only 1 point. If you're going precision based with Earth, then by all means you probably want to have like your weapon mastery, and you would probably have more skill points in here. But for what we're doing, you don't need it, quite honestly. Obviously you want to have your 1 point in your super speed movement, whatever that is, whether you're flying, whether you're super speed, whatever the case is there. We don't have anything in iconic powers now. You have the ability to use some of these if you want. That's totally up to you. One of the more popular ones is using Neo Venom Boost, which is basically supercharge, which will kind of like temporarily increase your damage output. It's very, very popular among a lot of DC players. Sometimes too, if you don't want to use a pet, you know, talking about other powers besides Earth or Sorcery, Robot Sidekick is another popular one. These are up to, once again, your discretion. I wouldn't personally use them, but you're more than welcome to. If you don't necessarily like the supercharges that are in Earth, try out Neo Venom Boost. It can't hurt. It does very well. I have tried it with other powers, but I do like the supercharges from Earth well enough that I don't feel like you really need these. So then as far as your actual powers, now as we all know at this point, you're able to unlock all of your powers based on what level you're at. So essentially once you hit level 30, you have unlocked all of the powers here, and that's that. That's not really a big deal. Now as far as your loadout is concerned here, this can be somewhat interchangeable, but this is what I personally use. This is what works for me. It may not be the best, but like I said, in like 90% of the cases, I end up doing fairly well, being able to hold my own, whether it's the event instances, whether it's the actual tier stuff like the normal instances. I tend to hold up pretty well. Granted, there's going to be people out there who are better at the game, who have more skill points that may, you know, out DPS me. But you know, like I said, this is all about having fun. This is all about enjoying yourself. So this is what works the best for me. So from left to right here, what I have going on is Unstoppable, Debris Field, Totem, Earthquake, the Supercharge, your pet, which is Crystal Golem, and Jackhammer. Now you might be wondering why I have two PIs here, Power Interactions, and the only reason why I have both of these is because this one, Unstoppable, is the Supercharge Generator, which will obviously help fill and give you the ability to use your Earthquake more often and faster. So really that's the only reason why I have Earthquake. Now if you want to, let's say, switch this out and use Neo Venom Boost, or a different power and not use a supercharge, you're more than welcome to. So at this point, if you don't have a supercharge, having two PIs, having two power interactions is pretty much just obsolete. There's no reason to have two power interactions, honestly. You don't need them. It doesn't do you any more good if you have two as opposed to one, but like I said, in this particular case, because we have the supercharge, we are just using this for the sole purpose of having the supercharge generator. So like I said, in some cases you might want to switch to, who knows, I mean, you might want to switch to, I'm trying to look for something off the top of my head here. You could even maybe switch this out for Fortify Golem to give your give your crystal power. You may want to switch to, geez, I don't even know at this point. But I mean, you can pretty much use anything else in this case. So, like I said, you might even want to switch out Unstoppable, move your Debris Field over, and use Striking Stones, because, you know, whatever the case is. But like I said, in this particular case, you're going to be using the two power interactions just because Unstoppable is the supercharge generator. So you're basically just going to go from left to right. And basically the focus of our damage is going to be on Jackhammer. This is going to be your move. Now the only thing that sucks about the might aspect of Earth DPSing is you have to be really close. You have to be in a really close range. You have to be in a melee range. So a lot of times if you're in instances where you have a boss that does like to move around a lot, it gets really, really annoying. It's probably the only bad part about this loadout is the fact that you have to be really, really close to your enemy in order to do the maximum amount of damage. And like I said, in some cases, especially with like the newer episodes, you have bosses that move around a lot, so you're not able to actually keep the flow going, and you have to kind of like reset yourself. That's the only bad part about this, and like I said, it does get to be quite annoying. But as far as the loadout itself is concerned, you're just basically going from left to right. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory, so I'll just show you. And even I'll show you here. So, like, for example, well, I should probably mention this as well. So, you have Unstoppable, obviously. Then you're going to have Debris Field, which basically is going to be a dot. You're going to have Totem, which not only heals Crystal, but is also another dot. You have Earthquake, which is your supercharge. You have your pet. And then, like I said, Jackhammer. The nice thing about Jackhammer is as long as you have power, you can pretty much spam the bejesus out of it, which at times does get monotonous, especially in longer raids, but hey man, it works, so that's why I like using it, because it works. So let me just show you. You're basically just going to go from left to right. Now if I get over here, even if I'm kind of in the middle, you'll notice that all the damage is going to this sparring target on the left, but if you look over here, it's not doing anything in the right. Even if I get kind of close to in the middle, you'll notice. Now, I guess in this case it works. But even so, you'll notice that you have to be at pretty much a really, really close range in order to do the maximum amount of damage. And you'll notice, like I said, once again, like if you get over here to this ad and not over there, you'll notice that you're only doing the damage to this one over here. So you kind of have to be in a reasonable distance in order to do the maximum amount of damage. And then, like I said, that's why in some cases you really end up getting annoyed, just because you have to kind of keep constantly moving around, and then you've got to reset your dots, and then you got to reset the dots, and then you're just going like this. And then, like I said, as long as you have power, you can just pretty much keep spamming the melee button, and you'll do damage. You just keep doing damage. You just keep doing damage. You just keep doing damage. Now, obviously, if you use your trinket, which obviously will buff your lightning precision, like this, you will obviously get a little bit extra, a little something something. As far as like, you know, damage over time, you'll notice your crits will go up. You'll notice that your average amount of damage will go up. No, I'm not using parsers. No, I'm not that serious about it. This is what works for me. Like I said, I'm not going to show you every little detail. Like I said, this is just more informative if you want to try this out. If you want to try Earth, you've been thinking about playing Earth, then this is what works for me. Like I said, the most important things to remember here are that your artifacts can be interchangeable. Just focus on the ones that are might, health, and power based. Don't forget to do your augments, focusing on might. Don't forget to put your skill points in critical attack chance, critical attack damage first, then use whatever else that you have left over into might and power. And the loadout itself is freaking easy. Now let's show you the supercharge here real quick as well. And don't forget too that you have to be within a reasonable amount of space in order to do the most amount of damage. So just go through, keep hitting the melee button, and do a lot of damage. Now here you'll watch, hit melee, hit melee, hit melee, hit melee, and you'll notice that it's like 2 or 3 times you'll actually get an extra 20 to 40,000 damage boost there with the supercharge itself, which is pretty awesome. The supercharge definitely hits hard. It takes a little longer to charge up, but when it is there and when you actually get it, it is definitely worth it because it hits really, really, really hard. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. If you guys want me to, I'll try to do a precision one, or if you would like me to try to make one of these regarding any of the other powers in the DC realm, please feel free to comment below. Like I said, that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. And until next time, see you soon.